This video contains the full solve for Mini Hunt number 1, which was completed by Bob W. on September 3rd, 2019 for a prize of $100. The riddle that was given in the first Mini Hunt video yields the keyword that you see on the screen in front of you, Windsor. The riddle is as follows. We hath a way to go from gate to steed, twice round and through a stately deed. Let's break down how we arrive at the keyword Windsor from this riddle. First, we have the line, we hath a way to go. It doesn't take long to see the word Hathaway hidden in this line. There are many ways in which this line can be interpreted in such a way that it leads us to the keyword Windsor. The first is through word association. Berkshire Hathaway, the company owned by the famous investor Warren Buffett. Windsor Castle is in the county of Berkshire in the United Kingdom. The second way would be to connect it to Anne Hathaway, the wife of famous playwright William Shakespeare, who supposedly also hid the surname of his wife in one of his verses. One of Shakespeare's comedies is The Merry Wives of Windsor. This is a fairly loose connection, but the connection between this puzzle and William Shakespeare is not a red herring. The decrypted text is a quote from one of Shakespeare's plays. The third way to interpret this line is in conjunction with the second line, literally, as we have a way to go from gate to steed. On the grounds of Windsor Castle is a path known as the Long Walk. It is over 2.5 miles, or 4 kilometers, and it runs from the gate of the castle to a copper statue depicting King George III on a horse. The third line, which reads, twice round and through, refers to the physical action of tying a knot, of which Windsor is a type of knot. This line is also a subtle reference to the fact that the plain text has been double encrypted, a safety measure I took in order to assure that it would be much harder for computer algorithms to decrypt the message without the seeker knowing the key word. The fourth and final line of the stanza reads, a stately deed, which uses the word deed as in property rather than action, in order to reference a castle, which would reinforce the idea of Windsor as being the key word if it had already been gleaned from the previous lines. The riddle does not offer any specific hints as to the exact mode of encryption. However, finding the index of coincidence of the encrypted text would indicate that the text has been encrypted by a transposition cipher. From there, the seeker would need to develop a list of potential keywords and try plugging them into various transposition ciphers, either by hand or using computer assistance. The real trick would be the discovery that the text had been double encrypted rather than just encrypted once. The riddle did not make any reference to the exact type of cipher used for encryption, because it would have made solving much too easy. The type of cipher used was a columnar transposition, done twice with the same keyword. That said, let's get on to actually decrypting the text. You can find the encrypted text in the first Mini Hunt video if you would like to see it. Here we have our keyword, Windsor. Since we are reversing the cipher, the first thing we need to do is put our columns in alphabetical order. Next, you fill the encrypted text evenly into columns. If you do the math, you will notice that the number of characters does not divide evenly into 7 columns. This again was a trick used to add a small layer of difficulty to the solve. Since there is a remainder of 2 columns will need to each be 1 letter longer than the rest. The 2 that you must choose are the columns headed by the first 2 letters of the keyword, W and I. Now let's swap our columns around again so that we have the keyword Windsor at the top. You will notice that the 2 remainder letters are now side by side at the beginning of a row. Had the text been encrypted only once, our plain text would be revealed at this point. However, because it was encrypted twice, we have to run this process one more time. Take the top row of our new text and sort it into columns. Note that I already have our columns in alphabetical order. Here is our unencrypted text in columns. Now, when I switch the columns around, the plain text is revealed. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. This quote is from William Shakespeare's comedy, As You Like It, from Act 2, Scene 7. One more time, congratulations to Bob for being the first ever winner of a digital buried treasure mini hunt. The next mini hunt will be released on October 1st, 2019. Until then, I'm sure you will all be busy working on the main treasure hunt, which has a $1,000 prize. And as always, good luck.